Data runs the modern world, folks, from AI to supply chains to the cars we drive and the apps we use each and every single day. Everything depends on reliable data. But here's the problem. Can we really trust the data anymore? That's where today's story gets exciting. We're talking about XYO, the first DePIN ever built, with over 10 million nodes powering real-world infrastructure, and now they're launching XYO Layer One, the first blockchain built specifically for data. This is a project you're going to want to understand because the next era of Web3, AI, and real-world assets will run on trusted information. My name is Paul Sampson. Welcome back to DataDash. So let's rewind for a moment, folks. XYO started back in 2018 with one simple but powerful idea that data should be trustable and owned by the people who generate it. They pioneered something called proof of location, which is basically a way to verify where data was collected, and proof of origin, which verifies when and by whom it was collected by. So together, these make sure that the data points aren't forged or faked. This made XYO the world's first decentralized physical infrastructure network, or DePIN for short. DePINs are blockchain-powered systems that rely on physical infrastructure like sensors, devices, or nodes, all owned and operated by individuals instead of a single company. Since then, the network has grown to more than 10 million nodes worldwide, making it one of the largest DePINs in existence today, securing millions of real-world data points every single day. After years of proving that decentralized infrastructure can work, XYO is now launching something massive. XYO Layer One, the first scalable blockchain built specifically for data. Let's quickly break down what a Layer One actually means, by the way. It's the base blockchain itself. So similar to Ethereum, where all the transactions and smart contracts actually run, other projects called Layer Twos usually build on top of these base chains. But in this case, XYO now has its own chain designed entirely for data. Think about the industries shaping the future. AI, which needs massive amounts of accurate information because bad data leads to bad predictions. DePIN projects managing physical sensors and devices. Real-world assets, or RWA, which are things like real estate, art, or commodities being tokenized on-chain, essentially. Gaming and geospatial intelligence, where location accuracy is everything. All of these industries face the same problem. They need data that can be trusted at scale, and that's exactly what XYO Layer 1 is designed to deliver. Now let's zoom out for a second and talk about why this matters. Think about the role of data today. When an AI model like ChatGPT is trained, it's only as good as its information it receives. If the data is false or manipulated, the output is useless. In supply chains, bad data can mean products getting stuck at ports, medicines not arriving on time, or even billions lost in inefficiencies. Even in financial markets, traders rely on accurate, real-time data feeds, and if the data is compromised, you can't make the right decisions. We've reached a point where data itself is the new oil. But unlike oil, which you can see and measure, data is invisible and easy to corrupt. This is the problem XYO Layer 1 is solving, not just giving us more data, but making sure that data can actually be trusted, verified, and owned by the people who create it. What makes XYO Layer 1 unique is its dual token model. First, you have XYO, the original token. It powers governance, staking, and rewards. Here's the kicker. When users stake XYO, they remove it from circulation, which tightens up the supply. And staking just means locking your tokens into the network to help secure it. And in return, you earn rewards. The more that's staked, the fewer tokens are floating around, which can create scarcity. And XYO isn't just some obscure token. It's already listed on Coinbase and other top-tier exchanges worldwide. Then you have the new XL1 token. This is the native gas token for XYO Layer 1. A quick explainer, gas is just the small fee that you pay whenever you send a transaction or use the blockchain. XL1 handles that, and you can earn it by staking XYO or by running a node that helps keep the network online. Even better, whenever the blockchain is used, a portion of XL1 gets automatically burned, which means it's permanently destroyed, and this helps control inflation over time. Together, these two tokens form a cycle of growth. Staking locks up XYO, making it scarcer, and XL1 powers activity, fueling adoption. Then the ecosystem expands, creating more demand for both of them. Now you might be wondering, aren't there already other projects working on oracles and data? And you'd be right. We've all heard of Chainlink, the Graph, and few others that are tackling pieces of this puzzle as well. But here's where XYO is different. Chainlink is excellent at pulling in price data and connecting smart contracts to real-world information, but it wasn't built to handle billions of geospatial or IoT, Internet of Things, data points. The Graph is great at indexing blockchain data, but it doesn't address trust in real-world data. XYO, on the other hand, has been building in the space since 2018 with over 10 million nodes. It's already proven that decentralized infrastructure for data is possible, and now it's scaling with its own Layer 1 blockchain designed specifically for this purpose. And that's a key distinction. XYO isn't just another Oracle, it's an entire decentralized infrastructure for the real-world economy. So what does this look like in practice? AI, training advanced models, requires endless amounts of accurate and verified data. Without it, the AI produces unreliable outputs. Autonomous vehicles, a self-driving car, can't make decisions based on faulty GPS data. Verified proof of location is critical for this. Then there's supply chain and logistics. Companies need to know exactly where products are and when they arrived, and decentralized validation makes that data tamper-proof. Gaming and NFTs, games that integrate real-world location data, can offer unique experiences, but only if the data is trustworthy. So in short, XYO is tackling one of the biggest problems of our era. Not just creating more data, but ensuring that the data can actually be trusted. This is why early adopters are watching closely. XYO has already proven its concept with 10 million nodes, and now it's scaling within its own blockchain, a dual token economy, and a clear value loop. Early stakers of XYO will set the pace, locking supply while earning XL1, and as adoption grows, the ecosystem is going to strengthen. So of course, as with any emerging project, there are risks, but XYO has something most projects don't, which is a track record of execution. And this isn't a concept, this is actually a live global network at the moment. So let's take a step back and imagine what the world could look like 5 or even 10 years from now if XYO's vision really plays out. AI models won't just scrape random data from the internet, they'll be trained on verified, trustable streams of information. That could mean safer self-driving cars, more accurate healthcare diagnostics, and financial markets that run on data that people can actually trust. Supply chains would become more efficient because every step from the factory to your doorstep would be logged on an immutable ledger. Think about the billions saved globally from fewer delays, less fraud, and more accountability. And for everyday people, it means owning the value of the data you generate instead of big tech companies monetizing your information. Networks like XYO put the value back into the hands of the participants. So this is why I say that XYO isn't just launching a blockchain, they're laying down the rails for the future of data itself, and that's a story that could be much bigger than any single use case that we even talked about today. So to wrap things up, XYO has pioneered the concept of DePIN in 2018 and scaled it to over 10 million nodes. Now with XYO Layer 1, they're launching the first blockchain designed specifically for data. Powered by the tokens XYO and XL1, their dual token model creates a cycle of scarcity adoption and growth. Data is the foundation of our digital lives, and XYO is building the infrastructure to make sure that the foundation remains solid. I'd love to hear what you think down in the comments section. Will trusted data blockchains like XYO be the backbone of AI, RWAs, and Web3? Drop your thoughts again down in the comment section below. I'd love to see them. My name is Paul Sampson. This is DataDash. Thank you all so much for tuning in. As always, I'll see you all in the next video. And until then, everybody, cheers.